What's up, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one, I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, Nvda, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I'm going to break down what's happening with the market moving forward and talk about some new details that are breaking out and what you should be watching for as we approach tomorrow. But let me just mention that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire community as a whole. So the question is, what's happening with the market thus far? I want to talk about something very important. As you guys know, the market's kind of range bound right now. SPY is trying to hold above 530 as our key support. And then we also have resistance at 535. Now, we're going to break in one of these directions within the next 2 days, and there's going to be a big move coming. That's going to depend on two things. We have PPI and CPI also coming out, not to mention global conflicts. But for now, we're just going to focus on PPI. And this brings about my warning. So tomorrow is going to be Tuesday, August 13th, 1 hour before the market opens. We have the PPI data report coming out. So this is very important. PPI is going to be dictating CPI for the next report, not to mention many of the Fed's policies. Right now, month over month is expected to be around 0.1%, a slower increase relative to what we saw before. And we're also expecting a 2.7 to 3% core PPI year over year. Now, I'm personally not a fortune teller. I don't know exactly what the data is going to look like. I don't know exactly what's going to happen. I can tell you this, though. If you're going to hold anything overnight, there is some risk. We don't know if this data is about to cause a rug pull or not. So you want to be very, very careful. And that's why I wanted to give you guys a warning about this. So if you're holding SPY calls or Tesla puts or something like that overnight, be careful because this data may cause a big move to the upside or the downside, and we don't truly know. We want to be very, very careful. And then simultaneously, there's another big piece of data, not really data, but news that's very, very important. So, US intelligence is saying that Iran could do a retaliation attack against Israel within a couple of days. Just as a reminder, I'm not really giving you guys a history lesson about this. I'm not saying that this person started this or that. I'm not saying that. I'm simply just reading the current headlines, and I'm going to break down why it's very important. Just know that there's a history between these countries and the people involved, which goes back centuries, if not thousands of years. There's a lot of history to this, and I'm not really trying to go over the history. That's not my job on this channel. And I just want to say that if there is something that happens, if there is some kind of attack, this not only affects innocent lives, but also the markets and so much more. So just know that if something like this were to happen, this would throw away some technical analysis and this would just cause a big dump in the markets. SPY is going to look for a very, very big dump. So is Tesla and the whole market. If there is some kind of big attack, in my opinion, and it could happen at any given moment, according to the U.S. intelligence, not to mention other defense secretaries. I heard that there's a high probability it's going to happen this week between August 12th and August 16th, and the threats are continuing to get hotter and hotter. So I want everyone to be very careful and be very mindful of this. So during times of uncertainty like this, I don't like to hold massive positions. I like to just kind of be very mindful of what could end up happening, the unknowns that we don't truly know. And I'm very, very careful. That's my honest warning for everyone about how this market is going to move. So for tomorrow, okay, depending on PPI, if we get good data and a very positive reaction, remember, it's not like we get good data every single time and the market's just going to jump, or if we get bad data and the market dumps. It's not always like that. The market's very manipulated, but generally that is what happens. Usually that is how the market responds. So if we get a positive reaction to good data, SPY needs to break 535, and we could attempt to get to at least gap resistance at 538, if not higher. And if we get bad data and a negative reaction, you want to see SPY lose 530. If that breaks, we're going to be looking for a bigger dump into the 520s. We're stuck in the middle, so give this some time, but please be mindful of the risks. For ES, if we get a positive reaction to good data based on PPI, we're going up to 5,400 plus tomorrow. This has a nice double top formation, so it does favor upside. But technicals are not everything. And if data is bad tomorrow, we could lose support here at our 20 EMA at 5340 and start dumping into the low 5300s. For SPX, if we're bullish, you want to see this break 5360. If that breaks, we'll be looking for a push for 5380 and eventually this gap fill above. And if we're bearish, we're going to be losing 5300 for a bigger dump, so we'll just have to give that some time. For Nvda, I'm looking at the 50 EMA, this 108 area. Good data tomorrow with a positive reaction takes us up to 112. Bad data takes us down to 105. I don't know what it's going to be. It's up to you to decide. If you're holding, a position, you're already up so big, it wouldn't be a bad idea to take most profits. That's personally what I did. Not financial advice, but it's just like, something really smart you could consider. For Bitcoin, we're stuck in the middle between 58,000 and 60,000. We're still shuffling, so I'll have to give this some time. If we lose that 58,000 mark, we're going to be looking for a bigger dip, so I'll give that some time. For Tesla, we're also just range bound right now. We have our 20 EMA as resistance, this 200 area. If we break that and get good data, we're going up to 205. If not, we're dipping down to 195 again. And if that breaks, we're going all the way down to at least 190, in my opinion. So be careful with Tesla. It's a little bit lackluster compared to the markets, especially because of some uncertainty. Elon Musk is going to be doing an interview with former President Trump, so we'll see how that goes. Just know there's going to be a reaction to that as well, depending on what they end up saying. So we'll just have to give that some time. For the QQQ, we have resistance at 454. We have support at 448. We're stuck in the middle. If the bears do step in and we get a dump tomorrow, I'll be looking at like this 444 area as potential targets. If not, if there's no dump, we could try to fill the gap all the way up to about 457. So there's going to be a big 6+ point move coming within the next 2 days. Aapl pushed all the way up to about this 219 area. It filled the gap exactly as I predicted. Now we're just kind of stuck. If we lose 215, we're going down to 212. If we break 220, we're looking for a big pump. We're stuck in the middle, so give it some time. Let me go over a few more. The IWM, we have kind of like a double top like structure. We're looking at 205. As we lose this, we'll be looking for a dip all the way down towards 201. If we break past 206, we're looking for a nice push to 208. So we're kind of stuck in the middle with this double top. So I'm giving this a little bit more time, but there is a risk of this dipping down to this imbalance. So I do see a weakness in the chart. The chart is not everything, but just know the odds are favoring downside a bit more for it. Same thing with Coinbase. We're kind of struggling to break past our 20 EMA, but you never know, guys. The market could be very tricky. So we need to get above 195. If we need to get back above that to really start pushing. If we can't do that, I think we could come down to fill this gap. So you want to be careful with Coinbase. For Amazon, we're starting to dip a little bit, but it's not that bad. We're still above 166. That's going to be our key support right now. If we lose the 165 to 166 area, I think we could dump all the way down to 160 again. If we manage to break above 167 tomorrow, there could be an attempt for 171 all over again to fill the gap. So I'm just going to give that some time. Meta is kind of dipping a little bit. We did call out some downside to watch 512. If we hold that, we could try to bounce back up to the 520s. If we lose that, we're going to dip. I do think we're going to retest this like 512 area again. I think it's going to dip a little bit more. So I see some downside potential in Meta, but we'll see if it bounces after that or not. But look for a little downside. Even for Microsoft, we're kind of slowing a bit. Look at 405 as support. If our data tomorrow causes a rug pull, we're going all the way down to the 399 area. If we're bullish, you want to break past 412, at least test 412, so we'll see. And then for Google, we have 168 coming for bullish, and for bearish, we're going back down to 160 flat. So honestly, guys, I'm just going to give this some time and see how things end up going. I want to thank you all so much for listening, so please have a great day. And just know that the PPI report is going to cause a big move, so be mindful of this. We'll see what this causes. I'll be back in a couple of hours to give you guys another update. Thank you for listening, and peace out.